The grand scheme of things, yeah.
How will this impact his father's campaign? That's debatable. As Democrats gear up to go head-to-head in Ohio tonight, the co-hosts reveal what they need to hear from the candidates and who's hanging on by a thread. Plus, Rachel Ray is lunching with the ladies, dishing on her sweet and savory life, and revealing how she handles tabloid rumors about her personal life. Let's light up Hot Topics with Whoopi, Abby Huntsman, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and Meghan McCain. Now, let's get things started.
Said yesterday, Joy will be back on Thursday. She's having a good old time, I think.
You think she's watching us?
No.
No.
No. No.
No.
No. Would you?
No.
Okay. When you were having that baby, you weren't watching the show? Like, oh.
Every day. Every. What?
To make it easy to push.
Turn on the view.
Turn on the view. I'll get this baby out of here. So. I'm
That's
just
how
silly
it's
today.
done. You need to go into labor, turn this on.
That's right. You know, Joe Biden's son Hunter was on GMA this morning to defend himself against conspiracy theories from you-know-who about his foreign business deals in China and board position for a Ukrainian gas company. Take a look.
You know what? I'm a human. And you know what? Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But did I make a mistake based upon some unethical lapse? Absolutely not.
Why did you leave the board in April?
It's a 5-year term.
And you chose not to
I chose
continue.
not to. Yeah.
Why?
I think it's pretty obvious why.
This is your opportunity to say why.
Well, because this is what becomes a distraction, because I have to sit here and answer these questions. And so that's why I've committed that I won't serve on any boards or I won't work directly for any foreign entities when my dad becomes president.
So, did he need to come out and do all of this? Was this the right time? I mean, I know he doesn't have anything to do with saying, you know, put it on today. That's a GMA call. But, you know, was this necessary given in our history in America of folks working in different places and such?
Well, you know, I certainly think that there have been a lot of people that have said, wow, why hasn't Hunter come out? We haven't heard enough of a denial from the Bidens. And so perhaps they wanted to put it to rest. But I just think it's the height of hypocrisy for Donald Trump and his family to say anything about any other family's foreign interests anywhere in the world, because we know, even though he's, right? I mean, even though he's president, he has work. You know, his sons are running his company, and they have work in 24 countries, including Turkey, in Istanbul, and we know what's going on in Turkey. And the other thing is Ivanka works in the White House, and she just got all these trademarks from China. Jared is meeting with people in the White House. He works for the White House, meeting with people for loans which he received. So don't tell me that his family isn't using the office of the presidency almost like a cash register. So he should say nothing about no one. Just my opinion.
Look, I was one of the first to say that it didn't look good when this came out. And I am someone that says, get out in front of it, put a face on it, let people know that you're a human being. And I think he did a good job of that. What I loved, he said, my dad doesn't have to defend me, but he has to love me. And my dad loves me more than anything. This story's not going away because this is what the impeachment is all about, and the president and his kids are going to hammer this home. He also wants to stay out of politics. He's like, I don't want to be a political football. Leave me out of this. And speaking as someone like Meghan who's been in politics as a kid, if you don't want to work in the White House or in the administration, it's a tough position to be in. You don't want to be involved. So I actually think he did himself some favors because the debate's going to happen tonight. Tomorrow, the headlines. I hope the headlines are this interview still, because the Democrats have a lot of other issues to be talking about right now, including the life of the American people. our military, Syria, the economy, healthcare. The list goes on and on and on. So if this is our biggest issue right now, what's going on with Hunter Biden, yes, it looked bad. I hope we can all learn from this, including the Trump family, and say ethics do matter. Where we work matters. But we've got bigger issues to solve right now, in my opinion. We've got to move on. I'm sorry, I'm kind of over this story. I really am. I think we need to move along as a country.
Unfortunately, the rest of the country is trying to figure it out. But go ahead, babe.
So it's hard for me. I totally disagree with you. I don't think he did a great job. I think when he said, look, I'm a private citizen, part of the problem is he also said I probably wouldn't have gotten this job if I weren't a Biden. And I think it was some criticism that's been held against other politicians' children, is you sort of have to choose your lane. And I get that there are kids who don't, and I say kids, by the way, he's almost 50 years old. Family members of politicians who say they don't want to be about it. But I know for my family, and again, it's just my experience, you're a unit. And I always say it's like being in a mafia family, and you all roll together and you know what you're getting into. So the oppo that's done, I don't understand why you would do this interview at this moment in time, and maybe this was just like a call by ABC, but this will be a conversation in the debates tonight. And if you don't think Julian Castro or Kamala Harris is going to take the shot when they have it, metaphorical shot, I keep saying that because I talk like a redneck, I'm sorry. I don't understand the strategy of having it done right now. I would have preferred to see him in a suit. I would have preferred to see him one-on-one in a studio. I think it's fine if you're talking about your addiction issues, but when you're talking about possibly taking money that people have questionable ethics behind, and listen, this is breaking my heart. It's breaking my heart all day long. I love Joe Biden. I love his family. Hunter Biden has had a lot of issues he's struggled with for a long time. But you know what's also breaking my heart? Some of these poll numbers. Elizabeth Warren is leading in the CBS YouGov poll, 32 to 24% in New Hampshire. So she's going to take these opportunities. And yes, the American public, I don't know who cares, but Democratic primary voters are going to care. And Elizabeth Warren, mark my words tonight, or one of these guys, one of the 12 people running and girls, will take the shot in front of them.
Well, I think it's interesting that Joe Biden was the vice president for 8 years. And this has now come up. And also, you know, Hunter was working with this company before he became vice president. So they knew him, and so it's not unusual. But, you know, this is something that this particular president likes to do. He likes to bend over and spew poo out when he's nervous.
He likes
And
to project also what he's guilty of. He projects on other people.
Look, it doesn't absolve the Trump family at all in any way. Theirs is arguably much worse, but the problem for Democrats is you are setting the precedent that we are so much better, cleaner. We are not the swamp people that the Trumps are.
Well, actually,
and when you have this conversation that's on the national stage.
Everybody is the Trump, is the swamp people if we read and see who is, you know, from the Bushes to from John Quincy Adams.
Running,
all the way,
but I don't think Elizabeth Warren thinks she's a swamp person.
No, most people don't think they're swamp people.
But
most people are trying. Well, I'm saying,
what's the alternative to the Hunter Biden response?
Well, the alternative to the Hunter Biden. No, I think Joe spoke about it.
I would have done it earlier, number one.
Well, I think Joe spoke about it. You kind of have to think, well, how dumb was everybody in the White House to not have seen this 8 years ago? I mean, this is not like this just happened. The man was vice president for 8 years. So if no one looked at it, nobody said, oh, this is terrible. And he said in this interview, you know, maybe the optics are not great. Okay. But you can't point to anything that my father did. You can't point to anything that I did. That's illegal. And to me, that is the key. What the Democrats need to do tonight is what they've needed to do every time they get together.
Convince the American people.
Tell people what you're going to do for them. Tell them how you're going to make it better, because now, Americans, you can't put your kid on the summer program because you don't have any money, because you couldn't put anything aside.
But that's the American public broadly.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm talking about primary voters and the battleground that's going on right now.
Everybody who is going to vote, because to me, if you can't convince America why you're going to make it better for them just on a daily basis. Because you Americans, we all are working to pay our taxes. We are taxed within an inch of our behinds by everybody. And part of the problem is the man that's in there now put together a tax program that was supposed to make it better and didn't.
But, okay, I understand. I hear you.
Okay,
Loud and
I know
clear.
you do.
I do. And I respect what you're saying.
Thank you.
But I am saying that for me, the primary battleground that's happening right now, and primary voters are still different than general electorate voters, and this is a huge distraction, and it's a huge narrative problem. Again, when Democrats are saying, look at all the, as you so eloquently stated, Sonny, all of the money that the Trumps are making, and at the same time, Hunter Biden is refusing to say how much money he made off these involvements. He says, I'm a private citizen, I'm not going to sit here and open my kimono as it relates to how much money I make. To me, there's many different ways he could have answered the question, and no one is more emotionally involved with Joe Biden at this table than I am. I love him and his family dearly.
I got that.
I would have preferred a cleaner interview.
Don't you
All
think
right,
it,
wait, hold up. Let's go, and then come back if we're going to do more. We'll be back with more Hot Topics.
Later, Bolton bombshell. Shocking testimony that former National Security Advisor John Bolton warned White House lawyers about the effort to dig up dirt on the Bidens in Ukraine. How bad is this for the president? This week, get ready for one explosive week on The View. Tomorrow, one gutsy woman joins a table of gutsy women when Chelsea Clinton guest co-hosts. Plus, Alyssa Milano, James Spader, Victoria Beckham. And we're closing out the week with a musical performance by Common. It's all this week on The Later. Rachel Ray's serving up a scrumptious spread and dishing on 50 years of memories and meals from a sweet and savory life.
I want to make a correction because I think I said that Hunter worked with Burisma before Joe was VP. I should have said that he worked as an advisor to Burisma through his firm before Burisma invited him to join their board. My bad. So
Changes everything.
oh yeah, well, you know, sometimes
matter, though.
you know, sometimes if you misspeak or you speak too fast, you just gotta say, oh yeah, this
Live
is
TV.
what I gotta say. It's live, and we actually are alive up here. We're actually here. This is happening in real time. This is happening in real
No
time.
safety net like everybody else who tapes. Gotcha.
that's just the difference.
So you know, I'm gonna. Did you want to?
Oh, I just wanted to mention two things. One, Hunter Biden also had board experience. He was on the board of Amtrak before he joined this board. So the notion somehow that he got it just because of his name, I don't know is 100% completely true in terms of the nepotism allegations. The other thing that I think, and I was going to ask you, Megan, is why, you know, this is the Trump narrative that they are corrupt, that the Bidens are corrupt. I don't understand why the Democrats don't just come out and say nothing illegal was done. Don't buy into the Trump narrative. He is projecting. Why is that not good enough?
Because it's helping the adversaries. It's helping anybody who's running against Biden. And I think, again, it's a blood sport. That's what's so, uncomfortable and intense about the primary process is on both sides, you eat each other in order to find out who's strongest, who's best, who's going to be able to go against Trump the best. And again, it's not, we've said it's not illegal. The ethics of it are questionable, which is why this has fever pitched to a two Hot Topic story GMA interview. And I don't think it's going to, I actually don't think this is going to go away. And I think if you're Elizabeth Warren and you want to drain the Trump swamp, she's going to use it, or her surrogates are going to use it in any way they can.
Well, it certainly won't. I mean, the president will likely be impeached by the House because of all of this, right? It'll be interesting tonight in the debate to see if his opponents attack him for this, because you saw how that
Somebody will.
Kamala Harris
Well, somebody
took that
thinks
route, and it didn't end well for her. It didn't end well for her.
Well, yes.
Well,
It's just not true.
well, the debate tonight, by the way, has 12 people on it, which I find way too many, because last time it was 10. I can't even wrap my head around it. I follow politics every day. Your average American, that is too much.
Yeah.
I do think we need to get to a place where, like, who are our
But
choices?
how you? Well, but you can't see. That's not how
Tom Steyer's
democracy
out.
works. That democracy doesn't work
It's
that way.
still early
We
in
have
the game.
said to we have we said since I was a little baby, you know how long ago that was, you know, anybody can run for office. Anybody can run for president, and people are exercising their right to do
And
that.
I love that.
And we have to, you got to let it shake out.
But you can't really
you know?
have real conversations, I think, on a debate stage when there are 12 people and you only have a certain amount of time. I find each of these debates, there's only so much I take away from it.
Yeah,
and it's
but
hard.
that's-
It's hard to come out
They
a
are
shooting
like
star
8.5 hours.
when you're not as well known. I mean, I'm really interested to see what Mayor Pete does because he's doing pretty well in the polls and he's really framed himself as a centrist. And you know who's going to be watching this very closely is Michael Bloomberg. There are reports that he is getting pushed to run by none other than Judge Judy, who has said, you know, I don't think the loudest voices in the room should control the conversation. She loves that he's a centrist. I agree with her on that. And it also tells me that people are concerned that the options that we have right now aren't going to necessarily beat Trump, that there is a push for other people that come down this middle lane that might...
I think Michael has always been trying to figure out whether he was going to run. I don't know if
came
he's...
on the show
Yeah,
like that.
I remember.
Yeah.
But I don't know that he's the right person, and you haven't heard enough from him to know if he's the person. So
Yeah.
I mean, he was good
we
mayor of
have
the city.
until... debatable.
The audience seems a little. I mean, a lot of our audience is New Yorkers.
Well, we gotta wait. Listen, it's
early.
a while. It's a while.
early.
Just keep
So,
watching.
This is the thing, though. It is a while, but it's not. This is like January is going to be New Hampshire primary. That's
No.
not that far from now, and
No.
that's the beginning of momentum. And before that's the Iowa caucus, and it's the beginning that will get the ball rolling of momentum and feed out the other candidates.
Things might have to go a little bit different this time because we got a different. You know, this.
That might
this
help
is.
Trump, though. I think
Well,
that
you
could
know
help
what?
Trump.
I don't know what will help anybody. I
Yeah.
just want somebody to tell us as Americans where you want to take us. I already know where you know who is taking us. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I
know
got
where
that.
we are now.
But now, you know, you just
I like
mentioned Mayor Pete. So apparently, there are people who are annoyed with Mayor Pete for going after Bernie Warren. Bernie Warren and Beto's policies leading up to tonight. But isn't this the whole point of the debate?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what
gotta
you're
stake
supposed
your
to
place.
do. You have to say why I'm the better choice than that person.
He's also really trying to remoderate himself because
Right.
he went severely left.
Right.
And I think he realized that lane is not only co-opted and taken, but Elizabeth Warren's doing it better than anybody else.
Right.
So I got to go back to the middle, and he's been attacking Beto on guns, for, which, as you guys all know how I feel about guns and Beto. I thought it was better. He also called out Beto for trying to strip churches of tax-exempt status if they oppose gay marriage, which will play very well in the middle. But he's done some real damage. I actually want Mayor Pete to come back on this show because I have some real questions about some of the policies he's been put out. Because when he first came on the show, I loved him. And now I'm kind of done with the far left, whatever. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm laughing because
It's not
for me,
always
it's
just
like
my
no,
opinion.
for me, because it's like a marriage.
It is like a marriage.
Well, yeah, and you're finding-
and I walked
you're
out.
finding new
That's-
things
that's
out.
when I walked out on you.
You had me close.
Someone keeps on I have a friend that is in politics, and he keeps on reminding me that at this point in the debate, no one even knew really who Barack Obama was during the primaries.
But he was
And
getting
that
a lot of attention.
He was getting a little
battleground
bit of
wise.
attention.
No,
but
that's not actually.
It was pretty
that's
early.
That's not actually a fair assessment.
you know?
No disrespect, but that was the year my father was running, so I paid very close attention.
Yeah.
This time he was getting actually a lot of momentum, especially
He was
in
getting
Iowa.
momentum, but he still wasn't.
Do you know who else is getting
he
momentum?
became.
Warren.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
But he still
Right
wasn't.
now.
But
Warren
I
right
don't know
now
Nobody
that-
was going to be the
I
candidate
literally
at
don't
this
know
point.
anything except
Here
this.
we go. That's
this
right.
is what I'm good at.
Yeah.
That's it.
We'll be right.
No one really.
At least half off products perfect for your busy life on the go. So get to viewyourdeal.com now.
Hey, it's time for today's Hispanic Heritage Month, FYI, Megan.
Yes, today we honor the first elected Hispanic U.S. Senator, Octaviano Lara Zolo. Born in 1859 in the Mexican state of Chihuahua, he moved to Tucson, Arizona at age 11. As an adult, he practiced law in Texas, fighting for Hispanic voters he felt were being exploited. Then he devoted his life to becoming a powerful political force for Hispanic American rights as governor of New Mexico, before making history as the first Hispanic elected to the Senate. Sadly, he fell ill soon after taking office and passed just 6 months into his term. But to this day, Lara Zolo is heralded as one of the most important Hispanic voices in all of U.S. politics.
And since this is the last Day, we want to take one more look at all the incredible people we've highlighted during Hispanic Heritage Month. And thanks to the millions of others who we didn't highlight, but who have done their part to enrich and empower Hispanic heritage and our American heritage that we share. Okay. So yesterday, we talked about Fort Worth, Texas police officer Aaron Dean shooting and killing 28-year-old
Tatiana.
Thank you, Tatiana Jefferson through the window of her own home. Last night, he was charged with murder, which was pretty much one of the first times any of us have seen this happen so quickly and so clearly without having to beg people to take a look.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by the swiftness of this movement?
I was very surprised, especially because when the shooting first happened, it seemed like the response was going to be same old, which was as the police department released a photograph of a gun that was found in her home. And now remember, this is Texas. It's an open carry state. As far as I can tell, a lot of people have guns in their home there. And so it seemed to me, at least most, so it seemed to me at first that, oh my goodness, here we go again with sullying the victim. This is going to be the narrative. But they seem to do a complete 180 within about 24 hours. And I don't know how that happened, but I'm very happy that that happened. Because it's about time that, again, as I said before, that when you're black at the Starbucks or black eating ice cream in your own home like Botham Jean, or when, you know, you're Sandra Bland, it's time for justice to really happen equally across the United States. So I'm pleased.
You know what, though, I'm glad that they acted so quickly, but I can't stop thinking about that 8-year-old boy. And the neighbor who did the right thing and calling because they saw something that they were concerned about.
Saw something
and
said
because
something,
of that, this is the result. So there are a lot of people that are involved in this, and the whole thing's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and I think this is what the police department should absolutely do, and maybe a lesson that other police departments can learn from, of how you respond quickly.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's just horrible.
But you know, it could have gone another different way. I wonder what the conversation would have been had she gotten nervous that somebody was on her property and she had shot
Through
It's
the
a stand
window.
your ground state, so it would be legal.
Well, yeah, one would
Especially in your home,
think. But
protecting your
you're in your house and you think, you know. But this is
regardless, just sitting playing video games with her nephew and got shot.
There you go.
Justice so far seems to at least.
And it could have been, again, anybody watching. This is something that could have happened to any of us, but it seems to happen to some of us more often.
It seems
which is
that
why
way.
which is why we highlight it, and we're glad to see people are moving in the right direction. We'll be back. So you know, Rachel Ray is coming up, and the smell of the food that you know
It's so
is being
delicious.
cooked in her name is starting to irritate me. I'm starting to get a little hangry. So if I have a look on my face like this, it's because I want some food. So let's get
so
through
good.
this. A woman who's been married for 12 years wrote an article for the Huffington Post because she developed a big crush on a man she sees at her local Starbucks. She's already in therapy with her husband because of post-pregnancy intimacy
God.
issues.
All right.
But she makes daily visits to flirt with the guy at Starbucks. This is not boding well, honey.
Nope.
She's hoping that it's just an innocent crush that she'll get over. What would you tell her? I would tell her, stay out of Starbucks.
Exactly. Exactly.
Where's my food?
Exactly. No more Starbucks.
Yeah, take your ass to Dunkin' Donuts, lady. Come on.
That's right. That's right. I mean, what?
I think a little competition could be good for a marriage.
No.
I think it could be
Not
kind
when
of
you're
fun.
in therapy.
No, but the idea of like my husband, for example, only dated blondes before me. I was the first brunette, and I always say, well, who was your crush? It was Heidi Klum. He loves Heidi Klum. And so we kind of have this joke of like, there's your lady. It's so innocent, you know? It's
No, I don't like it.
It's kind of, okay. You gotta have enough confidence in your marriage to play a little game.
I don't like it.
Actually,
I mean,
there's a really cute guy at my Starbucks down the street.
Don't go to the Starbucks. I just, you know, the question is like, is an innocent crush okay in a marriage? I just think
Not when you're in therapy.
Yeah, you're in therapy. Like, and
If
just,
you're
like,
in
active
therapy, stay in therapy, get your ass out.
Yeah, and the active visiting,
Wrong with
you know,
you?
she's like pushing it. She's like actively visiting, actively flirting. It's like
I'm
a weird
hungry.
Yeah,
temptation
that's a
of
little
sin.
weird.
I don't like
I'm
it.
talking
I don't
about
like
like an
it.
innocent, like, oh, I thought Heidi Klum was attractive.
Well, see,
That's
with
fine.
social media
I have enough
now,
confidence in myself.
celebrities aren't off limits. You can DM them, you can follow them, they can follow
Not
you.
all
You
of
can
them.
do
No,
little
that's not
hookups. Not all of them.
No, not all.
I think everybody's
can't
kind of
slide into Whoopi's DMs.
attainable now. I don't like it.
Back off, gentlemen. Whoopi, you can't reach her on social media.
That's right, you cannot.
No.
Joy
You
also,
can
if
reach
you
me
were
in
here.
the kitchen
Joy.
where there's food being made
Yes.
that we have not had access to.
Yeah.
And we still got a minute to
Here's
go.
the thing, though.
She's such a good cook.
Oh, Rachel Ray.
Rachel Ray.
Rachel Ray is
I love
beyond.
Rachel Ray, and I love this book she has. She
Yeah.
looks really hot on the cover,
Yes.
and we would like to move
How
on.
about we
Rachel
ask
Ray
her if she's ever had an innocent crush
That's
on
okay.
anybody? I guarantee she would have someone interesting.
No, she
Oh,
hasn't.
I guarantee I'll ask her.
What if Rachel Ray is your husband's celebrity crush? I guess we got a problem
Oh.
today
Yeah.
on the
It's
show,
possible.
ladies. I
It's
know.
possible. But what if we're allowed to have crushes that we don't have to tell everybody about?
Or go
It's no
visit
fun.
them at the Starbucks repeatedly.
You know? Because I feel like people, you know, when you do that, I mean, realistically, when you go and you tiptoe around stuff like that, you are hoping that you are strong enough.
Totally.
Yes.
Playing
And
with
I
fire.
think that you should not do that to yourself.
Yep.
If you got a problem, talk to your husband. Yes!
Hi, ladies.
Do you have a celebrity crush?
My celebrity crush is Curtis 50 Cent. I love
you
him.
like 50 Cent?
And on my
50
2000
Cent.
show, I turned around and he surprised me. He was behind me. And I just jumped on him, literally. And I didn't know, but John was backstage.
Oh, no.
watching
no.
the whole
Did he
thing.
set it up?
Oh, no.
No,
Was
it
he
was very
mad?
bad. It was a discussion for several days. Stay out of the Starbucks.
We will be right back with more with Rachel Ray. Yes!
Sure, you love watching The View.
Oh my God, I love it.
Just trust me on this. But during commercial breaks, you wouldn't believe what happens. Because, yeah, we love our audience that much. And anything goes. For your chance to experience the fun, go to oneiota.com for free tickets.
One of the many reasons we love when this lady pays a visit is she never ever comes empty-handed.
No.
So please welcome the author of the new book, Rachel Ray, 50 Memories and Meals from Sweet and a Savory Life. The fabulous Rachel Ray.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
So, Ray, we
You
always
look
love
how gorgeous you look on a cover.
having...
I
thank
love
you.
the
Wonderful.
cover.
So the book commemorates my 50th year, right? My when I turned 50
Yes.
is when I sat down to write it.
Birthday.
But this is totally different. It's not just a cookbook. It's a scrapbook. You know, it's kind of like a mini memoir of my life. And I wrote it because I wanted to celebrate all of the wonderful opportunities. Like I'm gonna cry that I've had in my life, and I wanted to prove to people that anybody could be Rachel Ray. If you're an American,
Yeah.
the American dream is still alive. You know, and it's
Oh, that's great.
so it's a love story. It's an ode to being an American, a grateful American. Oh.
Yeah.
And a grateful American waitress and food professional.
That's right. So what's on the table? Tell us
So
everything.
there's so many different things going on here. Whoop, you know my obsession with burgers. So I call this one the Big Smack. It's like my Big Mac. Okay. It's special sauce, you know, sesame seed bun
Yes.
back in the day,
Yes.
right?
I love
Well,
the
beef
sesame.
And then this, every year I was married in Italy, and every year we take our close friends and family members to Tuscany, to the scene of the crime where John and I got married. And the cooks that I know spend all day in the kitchen with me, and all the musicians spend all day rehearsing. And we have these big feasts at night, and the musicians sing for their supper. So this is a dish from Tuscany. This is a Tuscan-style pot roast with roast potatoes.
So good.
My grandpa was my best friend when I was a little girl, and our favorite thing was salty fish. So
Oh, yes.
sardine sandwiches and anchovies.
Or bacalao.
Bacalao, exactly.
Yep.
So this is an anchovy spaghetti with preserved lemon and broccoli raw.
Oh,
running
my
through it that my grandpa would have
gosh.
loved. Every year I throw a big rock and roll concert down in Texas, and this was one of the dishes we served there.
Okay, invite me.
Spicy wings.
Please, that's amazing.
I will. So this is spicy wings on jalapeno cheese grits. Yum.
Oh, cheese grits.
Yeah.
This is like a story of your life right
It
here.
is.
I
It's
love that.
And that's what the book is. It's all these fun episodes from my life. I write about Italy. I write about being the most awkward celebrity in the world. But in the end, it's supposed to just be kind of a big hug and a celebration of if you work hard and you're grateful for it.
And
This
you
is
make
it.
some good cheese grits.
And you make some good cheese grits. Good things can happen. Oh, and salad, of course, so that you don't feel guilty about eating all of that.
I want to try some of this salad, as you call it.
Great.
Because, you know, I hate anything green.
I know you do.
Yeah, so I'm
That's
gonna
why
put
I
up-
brought the burger, Whoop.
I know, but the salad was called. It was like, whoopee. Come here. So here I come.
It's a Sicilian-style salad, so it has citrus in it, and red
here
onion
I
and
come.
fennel.
Look,
Should I do it with my-
Rachel, we all love you. I mean, I think everybody
love
in
you guys,
America
too.
loves you. But you're also the, yeah, right? But you've created a huge empire for yourself off of your passion. And I have always found that so inspiring. You're one of like the top 5 people I always look to for career goals.
Thank you.
You're at 50. You're a huge household entrepreneur that America loves. What advice do you give to the women out there who want to have a career like yours?
I think it's easier than ever. Everybody has a voice now. You can go on a number of platforms and create your own platform. For me, if you're talking about the business side of things, it was filling a niche or creating a product that doesn't exist. The oval spaghetti pot, for instance, right? That's the first thing I designed for the kitchen. The mopine. My family used to put the dish towels in their waistband, and that was your apron, and then you'd use it to carry the pots and back and forth, right? So we put pot holders in a dish towel. I think that it's more than ever. Everybody, no matter your age, you can reinvent your life or you can start your life. You're your own boss now. It's such an exciting time. But you do have to be clear. You have to have a vision, and you have to be able to say specifically, I want to do this, and this is why, because this has never been done before. But I think if you can narrow down your path and stick to it, it's a better time than ever to start.
Absolutely.
But you've also made cooking accessible to the masses, and I've always wanted to make all niches of politics accessible to the masses. So thank you so much. You really have inspired me for a long time.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I can't believe when you came out here, you said this is your 26th cookbook.
26.
Wow,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It's the only book where I've ever sat down and literally
Wrote it.
Written essays about my life. I wrote all my books. They start in notebooks. Everything I do in life starts with paper. When I was a little girl, everything I drew had a little bag. And my mom said, why do you only draw girls? I said, what are you talking about? That's a fish. That's a man. You know, like, what do you mean? And she said, well, because everything has a purse. I said, that's not a purse. That's just where they keep their notebook and their pencils.
No, I love it. Exactly.
Oh, that's so
Well, you also
great.
say that everyone should have experience working in a restaurant.
Absolutely.
I mean, I got fired from Fridays. Actually, I was a waitress.
I'm sorry,
for
sweetheart.
dropping food on someone.
I'm sorry.
But I also worked as a short order cook while I was in law school.
I think
Why do you think that? I know Whoopi's shocked. Why do you think?
I have not given anything a thought except the food.
Okay. Why
I'm
do you,
just over here eating.
why do you think everyone should work in a
Because the food
restaurant?
service industry first of all, it teaches you humility.
It does.
Yeah, I started out as a dish machine operator. Like you learn to be humble when you're a dish
you
machine
do.
operator. I also think it makes you mindful of a customer. It makes you mindful of how to listen to people and how to try and deliver something to someone and be of service. There's a lot of great tools that come from working with food. And food itself is about sharing.
It's true.
You know, and about making people happy and nurturing them in a way.
Yeah, but
know,
you
giving-
showed that on the air all your years, because I've watched probably every single one of your 30-minute meals, all your shows.
They're back now. Can you believe
Are they?
it?
I love
After
it.
20 years, I still have a gig at Food Network. That ain't bad.
I love it.
Whoop's stealing some tapes.
I know. But I television are the same on and off camera.
Yes,
and that's what you've done. You've brought us your home life too.
That's
we know
what
your
works
husband,
about
we know
this
your
show,
dog.
is that y'all are real with each other. And
Sometimes too real.
Yeah.
But we are.
But that's what
too.
people like about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a crazy question?
Yes, baby.
I grew up wanting always to go to Mama Leone's. And
It's
you
my
talk
favorite memory of
about it.
childhood.
You talk about it in the book. Please remind people about what Mama Leone's
Mama
was. for the young
Leone
ones.
was a real person, and this restaurant was like spending the night in Italy. The bar was the Blue Grotto of Capri, and the dining room looked like the village square, the piazza. And there were little balconies all around, and the couples that wanted to smooch and swoon would sit up top. And the waiters would sing, and Pasquale was always all ready. It was magic. And my mom would save all year long to take us to Mama Leone's at Christmas, take us to one show, and let us buy one toy at Fair Schwartz. And New York was like being inside a snow globe. It was the whole world to me to go to Mama Leone's.
This is why we love Rachel Ray. Her book, Rachel Ray 50, is available now.
Came out
The
today.
Rachel Ray Lasagna Lugger.